The first calendar date of spring just went by, marking the beginning of a very transitional and exciting time of the year. And so Kyle and I started on a new project where we would transform our apartment into a functional studio and office space, as well as a place to sleep while we are not at the cabin. It's been such a fulfilling process. We've gotten to combine our styles and work together to optimize the space for our needs. I have an entirely new space for my Etsy and other crafting endeavors, as well as gardening and seed starting. There's so much going on. We are going to be leaving the previous office because it's become really congested as more commercial spots have opened up nearby and more traffic's coming in. It's not really feasible as a filming spot anymore for me and gardening, and we're going to start spending more time up at the cabin to get it completely done this spring and summer. I was initially working out of the basement at the office, and everything was all over the place all of the time. So being able to design a space from scratch was so refreshing and invigorating, and I just feel really attached and connected to my space even more now. As you can see, we're completely encompassed by plants, both alive and those that have been dried from the garden last year. And to welcome in the new season and the new setup here, I did a sage cleansing to set the tone for positivity and fresh starts. I've been diving into reading like crazy here too, just all things gardening and herbalism. And this is all in preparation for what's to come with cabin gardening plans and new herbal creations I'd like to get involved in. Just diving into it way deeper than last year even. The days are flowing so differently. This morning I woke up and got to take my time making a small batch of almond milk, not rushing through it at all, just enjoying every step of the way because it can take a while to do. And to keep this process free of waste, I'll take what's left in the bag of the dried and powdered almonds and slowly heat them on the stovetop to fully dehydrate them and then use it as almond flour. Made myself some matcha from that and stashed the rest away in the fridge. Everything just feels right, which is really nice. It's great to work with the seasons and change things up as they transition. There's a lot more sunshine, We're actually cracking the windows now, and since it is spring, I'm going to be starting my seeds today. I have 2 south-facing windows right here, so the tabletops elongate what I'm able to work with. They're really nice and warm and get plenty of sun. I have so many cells to put the seeds in. I just got my soil. The goal is that this year up at the cabin, I will have a nice garden layout where I can produce most, if not all, of the vegetables we're consuming, as well as a bunch of herbs and some flowers. I have a little experience in gardening and herbalism, but I'm still very much so a beginner, so this whole spring and summer is going to be a huge learning curve for me. I have been reading so much in preparation for all of this, and I feel like I'm getting to a point where I'm starting to be more comfortable with it all. So I'm starting to plan out the garden, which I'll get more into soon, but it's getting really real. It's really all the beginning of an entirely new chapter. I have this deep desire to get completely in tune with the process of cultivating plants and to being connected with all of them. I'm planting tons of extra seeds because this is my first year starting from seeds completely. I have probably planted hundreds of herbs at this point, 1 for personal use and 2 to be able to really stock my Etsy this year and grow most of the ingredients that I use. As I was going through each individual seed, sort of researching it and reading the backs of them, it became clear to me that some won't need to be put into the soil for a few more weeks, whereas others will be direct sowed right into the garden. So figuring all of that out has been really interesting. It has extended the process, but I love the pace of it all. I really just want to take my time and do it all right. There's just so many spring plans and summer plans underway. Really soon we're going to be back at the cabin multiple days a week. We're gonna finish it. Just thinking about cold river baths and being barefoot gets me extremely excited. Oh, it's so cold out today. It's snowing and sleeting and freezing one day, and then you wake up the next morning and all the snow's melted and there's spring runoff everywhere and it's 75 degrees. And sometimes it doesn't even take a couple of days. Sometimes it's the same day where the weather will just be complete polar opposites. And it keeps you on your toes. Right behind me here is where the garden is going to be. There's currently 2 raspberry bushes, or actually 3 raspberry bushes that are ginormous. So one of the first things we have to do is transplant those out of here when we want to start getting this ready for the garden. It's going to take a lot of work, but I want to dedicate myself entirely to it this year. I'm just gonna go walk around a bit and check it out here. We thought we were gonna get here more throughout the winter, but winter went by really quickly. We stayed really busy, and now it's time to get to it. We're really kind of closing in. I, of course, haven't been here the whole time. I've been trying to help out this past year as much as possible, but I can already feel that there's this turning point where you're working really hard and it just feels like the end is so far away. And then now we're getting to that point where it's switching. It's getting closer and closer to when the inside will be complete. I love winter. I love every season, but there is something about that first streak of real warm sunshine that just alters everything about how I feel. It's so uplifting and rejuvenating. My muscles feel really loose and good. Since the snow's melting, there's so much runoff, so the streams are swelling and the falls are in full force. It's such a beautiful and powerful thing to witness and be present for. So that's kind of the gist of what's been going on around here. It's kind of a preparation period for the warmer seasons, and it's sort of like a pocket of calm before this wild rush of things that are going on. Foraging season's right around the corner for us, maybe like a week or 2 away. Going out to get ramps again, and fiddleheads and mushrooms. May marks the beginning of when seedlings can be transplanted into the gardens. I just cannot wait to build the garden. Tapping season is going on right now for maple trees, and birches will be in a week or so too. More to come on that very soon. It's going to be a jam-packed year, and I'm so eager to take you along for the journey. Oh no, you're stepping on the computer.
It's only been 1 year. What? Oh my god.
I feel like probably the best thing for us with our setup is we'll probably get some wax melting too, because we're gonna have to fill that so many times. And oh my god, I just got super glue all over my nose.